This diagram illustrates a simple mathematical logic used to sell almost every modern smartphone. 200 is 4 times greater than 50. Therefore, a 200 megapixel camera is marketed as 4 times better than a 50 megapixel one. This logic creates a race to maximize every possible metric. Manufacturers compete to fill spec sheets with higher numbers: more megapixels, more zoom, more battery capacity, and more AI features. But the daily experience of using a phone is built on metrics that are much harder to market. Things like the weight of the device in your pocket, how it feels in your hand during a long call, and the balance of its proportions. When engineers prioritize winning the spec sheet, they often create a disconnect. They produce phones that are thicker, heavier, and more expensive to accommodate high-end features that the majority of users rarely utilize. Samsung recently provided a clear look at this trade-off when they released the Galaxy Z Fold8 and the Fold8 Ultra. On paper, these two devices represent different philosophies of what a flagship should be. The industry standard suggests that the Ultra model, with its superior hardware, should be the more desirable product. However, the initial reception told a different story, with many users expressing a clear preference for the smaller, lesser standard model. When a device with fewer headline specifications generates more enthusiasm, it suggests that the industry's focus on maximizing hardware is no longer the most effective way to improve the user experience. Foldables are intricate mechanical assemblies. They rely on the precise interaction of flexible displays, internal hinges, and split battery components inside a portable chassis. The primary value of a foldable is its ability to transform into an 8-inch workspace. It allows you to read a PDF, manage a complex spreadsheet, or run 2 applications side by side on a screen that fits in your pocket. Every millimeter inside is a compromise. Forcing a massive camera system in consumes the volume needed for the battery and hinge. This creates a direct conflict. You cannot have an extreme camera and a thin workspace in the same chassis without damaging both. Both the Fold8 and Fold8 Ultra share the identical processor, establishing a perfect experiment. The Ultra follows the path of maximization, adding a larger camera and battery for highest specifications. The standard Fold8 chooses optimization, sacrificing specs for a smaller footprint, prioritizing daily comfort. Users experience the weight of a phone every time they type, walk, or open the screen. While the 200 megapixel camera might win the marketing comparison, the lighter weight wins the experience of actually owning the device. The Ultra wins the battle of hardware maximization. But the standard Fold8 wins the engineering battle of optimization. The enthusiasm for a lighter, more balanced phone indicates a shift in what users value. Once a device is fast enough to handle every task instantly, adding more hardware can actually make the phone worse to use. For years, a flagship was defined as a device that included the maximum version of every feature, regardless of the cost to ergonomics or price. That definition is becoming less relevant. A flagship should instead be defined by how well it executes its specific purpose. This would lead to more specialized devices. A gaming flagship would prioritize cooling, a camera flagship would prioritize lenses, and a foldable would prioritize a lightweight, multitasking workspace. The next major breakthrough won't come from finding more features to add to the frame. It will come from understanding what can be removed, using those resources to solve the problems that actually affect how we use our phones every day.